template method pattern. What is a template pattern? It basically has an abstract class that has a defined way to execute its method. So this defined way is typically a sequence of methods, and that is in fact a template method. So let me give you an example of template method. So template method, so pizza after. So template method is basically pizza in this case. This template method is example of this. So this template method is set as a final so that the subclass cannot change it. So if you want to impose defined way of executing some operations, so which means we need to take a payment, then we need to prepare, then we need to add topping, then we need to bake, and we serve. So this is pizza making. If you want to impose these set of methods to be executed exactly like this, then you are going to create a template method. So this is an example of template method in this the abstract class. Okay. All right. And then its subclasses can override the method implementation as per need, but the invocation has to be done exactly the same as defined by the template method. So any subclass that implements, meaning that extends this pizza class, has to call this handle order method exactly like this. Okay, so I'm going to explain this example in a bit more detail later on. So when to use it to implement a non-changing part of an algorithm once and leave it up to the subclasses to implement the behavior that can vary. Right? Again, we'll come back to this slide after the exercise, possibly one more time, and describe it in a bit more detail with the examples. So participants, you define an abstract class which contains a template method, and again, template method is basically a sequence of methods that needs to be invoked by all subclasses, all concrete classes. And it does, in fact, the template method in fact call some abstract methods. In this case, add topping and the bake and serve. Those are abstract methods. So subclasses have freedom to implement those abstract methods. Okay, so that is basically concrete class. So let's take a look at an example. See here. So what we want to do is we want to make a pizza, and we want have the pizza. So we have, we are pizza company, and we have some branches. We have branches in New York, and we have branches in Chicago. And we want these two regional franchises of pizza, stores with followed exactly the same order of making pizza. Okay. So this is a case that we are not using the template pattern. So let's take a look at the problem of this. So here we have a pizza. Yeah, so this is a pizza class, which just has a name. And then we have Chicago pizza. Chicago pizza will actually have it will have its own set of prepare, add topping, bake, serve, and then take payment. By the way, the take payment is supposed to be exactly the same way. So there is no implementation difference between Chicago and New York. Now, if you take a look at the New York pizza, it has implemented its own preparation, add topping, and bake, and all that stuff. Fine, that's fine. And service is New York style. These are all New York style, so they are different from Chicago. However, payment should be the same. But here we have a duplicate code. Okay, Chicago pizza and New York pizza has a duplicate code. Okay, and in the client side, so this is a bad part. So when we create a New York pizza, New York pizza will actually call take payment, then call prepare, then call add topping, bake, and serve. And this is what we want. All regional franchises follow, right? So New York pizza guy is actually doing the right thing. However, Chicago pizza guys, this guy take the payment, then they actually mix up with add topping and prepare. Okay, so it actually add topping first before prepare. Okay, so this is incorrect, and this is not the way we want, right? We want all franchises to follow exactly the same order of like this. So without template pattern, the subclasses might not actually follow the sequence of operations that you want. And also it could actually omit like a bake. In Chicago guys just skip the baking, right? And that's a bad thing as well. So this is a bad part. We wanted both New York Pizza and Chicago Pizza franchises to take the same steps to make, but here there is no way to impose that common behavior. Okay, so for example, in Chicago, the step of baking is omitted here, so it's commented out. And then also add topping step is done before prepare here. Okay, so we do not have any control in terms of imposing common behavior to all these franchises. Now we are going to correct that problem by using template patterns. So let's see how we can actually achieve that. So this is the template pizza after. So in this case, in pizza, we're gonna actually make the an abstract class, and then we create a template method called handle order. Okay, and you can see this is set final, so subclass cannot change this method, meaning cannot override this method. Okay, all subclasses has to follow these steps. So inside handle order, we are gonna call take payment, prepare, add topping, bake, and service. So these sequence of methods are going to be executed exactly this way. And also in this case, take payment is a common behavior, so we can just have the same behavior for all franchises. However, we like to allow the franchises to have a different behavior for prepare, add topping, bake, and serve. Okay, so basically we allow franchises to have a freedom to execute these methods differently while imposing the order of execution in the form of handle order template method. So in the client will just call handle order method regardless whether the pizza is made from New York franchise or Chicago franchise. They will always follow this the handle order template method. Okay, so here if I run this application, it will make a pizza. It will make a pizza Chicago style. One is actually New York style, and the other one is one is New York style, and the other one is the Chicago style. And take payment is actually common behavior, while preparation and add toppings and baking and serving, those are different behaviors depending on the franchise. So that is a template pattern. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, so in the general case, basically we have the abstract class where you define a template method in a form of a final method, and then you specify set of methods to be executed in the order you want. So operation 1 and operation 2, operation 3 and 4, and these operations methods could be either an abstract method or concrete method. If it is in fact abstract method, then you're going to actually define them as abstract method here. Okay, and they will be implemented by the subclasses. Some operations could be concrete method. In that case, the concrete method will be defined in the this abstract method so that all subclasses can actually use the same behavior. Okay. All right. So template method is relatively straightforward. The pattern. So let's see the homework. So in the homework, so let's take a look at the client Java file. So we want to build a house, and in this order. So we want to lay foundation, and we want to construct the frame, we want to work on the exterior, and then we want to decorate interior and then paint the house. Okay, but we want to allow different regions will build house in their own way, but we want them to follow exactly the same order of this. Okay, so among this, decorate interior should be the same regardless of the region. right? So you might in fact have a decorate interior method to be implemented in the abstract method, okay? All right, so the steps to follow: uncomment the client code below. So here basically we are going to select New York house and we're going to build it, and then the Chicago house, then we're going to build it, and this is just the address of that house, okay? So here what you have to do is you're going to create a house abstract class where you are going to define a template method, okay? You're going to name it as a build house. That build house will have the build house template method will call lay foundation method, construct a frame method, work on exterior method, and decorate interior method, and paint house method, okay? And you're going to create a house builder class, which is, yeah, so how the builder class is provided here, okay? So this is basically, yeah, it will be injected with the house, okay? And the client is going to get the house builder with injection of the house, and then is going to call constructor house method. So constructor house method will call the construct method of the house, right? So so this construct is probably the template method. Yeah, I think the documentation is a little bit I should actually change this one to construct, right? Okay, so I'll give you guys about the 17 minutes to finish the template pattern exercise.